Okay, hey, listen, welcome back to the Call Striker. My name is Jimmy Prater. I'm here with Anthony Camacho. Anthony Camacho, probably the most, every time I have conversation or some type of communication with Anthony, he's just motivated. He's self-motivated. He's never negative. But I'm sure you have your moments, don't you? Don't you, Anthony?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's definitely times and moments where I am human.
What rattles your chain?
What rattles my chain? Geez, I mean, not much. I would just say anything against my family would rattle my chain. But someone says something negative about me or has a disagreement with me, I really don't care. But I think
for those who don't know Anthony is he's a motivational speaker. He's a coach. He coaches entrepreneurs. He's an author. He's got 3 books out. They're little black books. I read all 3 of them, and thank you very much for sending them to me. I passed them on to a friend that is a CFO of a Fortune 500 company. Honestly, when I knew that we were going to have this conversation on video, I contacted him and asked him what his thoughts were. He apologized for not sending them back, but he did say that he liked it. Okay, and he wasn't through the last one. And you also have a 4th book that's a kind of a compilation of all 3. Am I right?
Actually, I sent you 3 books, but there's actually I've published 6 books, and I need to send you another 3.
Okay. You know what? Let's talk about the little black books, though. Like, what made you decide to go the little itty bitty black books? What got you into say, hey, I'm going to do these small books and go from there?
I think the major motivation, I was looking at different publishers, and when I went with the publisher Itty Bitty Publishing, I liked it because they're volume books. It's not a big, huge 500-page book that you bury yourself in. People want results. People want to get through a book quickly. So that's why I use this type of format, because it's easier for people to digest the material in a shorter period of time, and it's to the point. It's not all fluffy. It's not a memorabilia. I remember when I was walking down the street and the wind was blowing and the sun was glistening off my. It's not like that. It's to the point, bullet points on how you can extract great content and implement it into your business at real time.
Now, would you agree salespeople are the backbone of the industry of just pretty much about anything?
Absolutely. You know it. Nothing happens without the sale. Nothing.
Right. Nothing happens until something moves, right?
Absolutely.
Now, that being said, I would think that they need to be motivated.
Absolutely.
Salespeople need to be motivated because we get so much rejection out there. And Anthony, that's what I'm trying to say is I'm going to try to rattle your chain in this conversation because I have never seen you not smile. All your videos, I don't see you get angry. I don't see anything. Tell me your secret.
The secret is you got to go out there and have some fun, brother. You can't take it. If you don't have thick skin, you shouldn't be in sales, right? And you have to understand that sales is a numbers game. You have to understand that not everyone is going to like you. You have to understand not everyone's going to buy, and you have to be comfortable with that. But you have to also know there are people that will like you, and there are people that will buy from you. So what do you got to do? You got to play the numbers. But if you're only talking to 4 or 5 people in a week, what are your odds and chances are to grow your business? A lot of people, I'm sure you've heard about this gentleman, Jimmy, Babe Ruth, right? Right now, he is known as having the greatest record for home run, correct?
Absolutely.
But something that people do not talk about is that he has more strikeouts than he does home runs. He had more strikeouts than he did home runs. But you know why he was able to have all those home runs? Because he swung the bat. And so guess what? Hey, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If you're not out there swinging the bat of sales, then chances are you're not going to get any runs. You're not going to get any home runs. You're not going to close any deals. So you have to be able to be okay with striking out, being imperfect, being vulnerable, and having some fun. That's the secret.
Now, you just said wake up and say, hey, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be a coach. There's no way. There had to be something that had a turn, something changed in your life. What was it?
I think since I was an adolescent, I like people, and I love helping people, and I want to see people be successful. And I try to like pay it forward. I've had some mentors in my life that have really helped me out, and I've actually gone after some curriculum to make me a better person, personally and professionally. And so I just feel, in my own humble opinion, that life is better, worth living when you're helping other people out. And so my connection is with sales. So why not help people in sales? Because it is a tough gig. It's also one of the most rewarding professions you could ever have. But you have to be able to be on that right mindset, in the right mindset, on the right path to be successful. Because if not, the sales profession will eat you alive.
Well, we're in some weird times right now.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
What's changed in your business?
More online. One of the reasons we're having this conversation right now. So now is the time to start creating your foundation of using the digital world. Using Skype, using Zoom, using social media, Facebook, YouTube, using all these mediums that you might have been shying away from before. But it's kind of like this. When I've talked to sales professionals and entrepreneurs, and they're going through my sales coaching program, and I say, do not cut off the multiple revenue streams that are afforded to you. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, some people are, oh, I just like making phone calls, or I just like doing emails, or I just like doing text messages. It's like, hey, you have all these mediums to make touch points, to connect with prospects and customers. You must utilize all of them, because each one of those points of communication is a revenue stream.
Okay, that's an outstanding point. So take advantage of all the platforms that are out there. But let's talk about the car business. I know you're in a few industries, but let's talk about the car business. The Car Sharker and friends would like to know, is it going to change that drastic for us? Because, people are still buying cars right now, but, experts say the bubble might pop in the future, and people may just still go into the dealership. They're still going in. Is it going to change for the car business? That's what my question is. Is it going to change that much?
Okay, let me just tell you one thing. During this whole pandemic, I have been in dealerships constantly, okay? And I can say that the car dealership world has been taking every precaution and every safety to make sure that consumers coming in are going to be safe, that they are going to have every precaution to make sure that the selling experience is good, it's informative, and most importantly, it's safe. So the car dealerships that I have been into, which has been easily, I've ran into about maybe 30 dealerships here in Southern California, so I can honestly say that because I've personally been in there. And they've modified staff, they've modified hours, they have protection glass up, people are wearing masks, there's hand sanitizer literally at every single station where there's consumers. I think the industry is doing a good job. I believe that there's going to be some dealerships that are going to evolve, to meet the times, and there's going to be possibly some dealerships that are not going to evolve, and it's all about who's going to evolve.
Now, you talk about this meet the times. Let's get back into that. I really want to bend your ear on this.
Sure.
People really, they still need to test drive a car. They still want to negotiate when they go back into the dealership. And there's really true no one price. Now, some dealers will argue that with me and debate that. What is your opinion on it? I mean, people, do they want to still go into the dealerships? to buy a car?
Well, here's the thing, okay? You have, it's all preference. So you have people that that's why we have an internet department, and and that's why we have the sales floor open, is because there are people that just want to go online and click, click, click and buy their car that way, which is fine. And there's other people that want that experience.
Okay, well, let's talk about your motivation. Now, I've always liked going to seminars. I like going to see people speak. I like to go be self-motivated. Somebody else talking.
Excuse
That's
me?
all right. I like to be. I like to hear people. I like it live. Like when you go see a live rock and roll band. I want to see that guy up there talking and motivating me.
Exactly. It's like, what would you prefer, to see your friend or family or have a live interaction, or, but again, that's just preference, right? I'm going to say the majority of people out there still love to have a live experience. Okay. So it comes down to the individual. I believe that, personally, I love walking into a dealership. I love looking at the showroom. I love seeing with all the cars and opening up the car and touching, feeling, smelling, sensing. You can't get that from a computer screen. Again, that's okay because some people like to buy that way, but you know what? It's all preference.
Are we going to see Anthony Camacho live again, or are we going to be seeing him only on video?
Hey, I always do live. I'm constantly walking into dealerships all the time live. And guess what? Because I do prefer live, I'm taking my own advice and actually utilizing other digital platforms to reach a greater audience, or to reach an audience that prefers, to do training virtually. So I'm doing it all, baby. I'm doing it all.
Yeah, great. Outstanding. You know what, Anthony, I'll give you a compliment because I enjoy watching your growth. And you don't stop. And you're constantly moving. And that's something that a lot of people should admire about Anthony Camacho. Why don't you tell us about your about where we can buy your books, where everyone can buy the books?
Well, I appreciate the plug, brother, and I appreciate the compliments and being on the Car Sharker. I'll throw compliments back at you. I love that you are genuine, you are authentic, and that's what the world needs. People that are genuine and authentic, and to be okay and comfortable in your own skin and say, hey, guess what? It's okay if you don't agree with me. We're two different people, But getting back to the books, you can actually purchase my books on Amazon. Just go into the search engine, tap in Anthony Camacho, and you'll see my multi-published international books on sales management, on motivation. You will be able to use these books and implement them real time. These aren't fluff books. These are real content, real time practices and sales tools that you can incorporate with your sales team, incorporate for yourself as a sales manager.
I was talking to somebody this week, and we were talking about you. I said I was going to have Anthony Camacho. We're going to be having a friendly conversation. And I said I was going to try to get a rouse out of him, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can rattle you. But I do want to ask you, we live in some weird times right now, Anthony, and I'm only asking you this because I respect you and I respect your opinion on it. And a lot of people, say they're oppressed, okay? And they can't do things because they are oppressed. What would you say about that? Let's say somebody is only selling 5 cars a month for the last 5 months. They can't get any more because they're oppressed or because they're just down. How do you generate excitement under them? How do you get that fire to burn underneath their feet?
Well, what I have done in the past and what I do currently is, in order to motivate your sales team, first of all, you have to understand the carrots of what's going to motivate that individual person. So sales managers need to understand that their new customer isn't just the customer that's coming through their door. Their customer is the sales team. So you have to understand the wants, the needs, the carrots, the pains, the fears of your individual player on the sales team. That way you can motivate it. However, I don't put the blame just on the sales managers, but the sales managers should be humbly, I say they should be implementing those motivational factors, and you only do that by knowing your team. By knowing your customer, can you sell? By knowing your sales team, can you sell the objective?
Okay.
Now, with the sales guys, with the individual, the individual has to want to be more, has to want to have some more results. So sometimes when I've ran into some salespeople that we can't get them, they're kind of in that slump, can't get them past their hump. I ask them, what in your life is important to you? And is it buying a new house? Is it buying a new car? Is it getting out of debt? Is it sending your kids to college? So you have to reignite what's important to them, and then say your sales is the vehicle to help you attain what you want. And when you start to align personal want and need with objective, that's how you can get a person to move forward. And that's been very effective.
That sounds outstanding. What do you think about managers, specifically in the car business, that beat down a salesperson?
I believe that it's all about what you're taught. It's all about what you've been exposed to. It's possible if you have had some bad sales managers in the industry, it's possibly because they weren't taught any better, and maybe that's the way they were treated. So therefore, what are you going to do? You can definitely identify it's wrong to do that to your people, because that's not how you get to motivate. You don't want to motivate people by compliance. You want people to be committed to you, right? But you have to invest. The dealerships have to identify, who their leadership team is and what are their strengths and what are their opportunities of growth to maximize the selling potential of the team, right? And so we have to invest in leadership skills. And if you don't have leadership skills, you're probably leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table in this industry and in any sales industry.
And everyone's a different type of motivator too. You got to find that way of helping somebody through their humps in life, and see if you can be that leader and that mentor. How about the biggest challenges salespeople have now, currently, right now, time now? Biggest challenges.
Biggest challenges is oh man, there's a lot.
Give me like just two.
I would say work ethic is one, and I would say their mindset around consumers. So work ethic. Sales is farming. It's planting the seeds. You have to constantly plant seeds. Any sales professional needs to constantly plant seeds. You need to be getting a certain amount of new prospects in your sales pipeline every single month, because if not, it's going to dry up. Okay? Wow. So you have to constantly be getting fresh new blood to be speaking to every single month. And there should be some sales quotas for new prospects you can be talking to, because those prospects are going to go through your funnel. Go into your closing ratio. So that's super important. And the other thing is just mindset. I've shared this with with my brothers and sisters in the car industry, is don't let one bad customer or bad customer experience crap you out for the day. Just because you had that one customer that came in that wasn't the best and maybe was rude, don't take that same experience and pass it on to the next customer.
Every new car sharkers ideology, and actually tell the customer to turn around so you kick them in the ass and look for the door. That's probably what we really want to say. You know,
Of course, of course.
you know what the reality is.
Absolutely. We definitely want to give people a piece of our mind sometimes, but we got to be smarter than that.
Right.
You know?
Right. No, we know that. We know that.
Yeah.
And you know, like coming from you, and I got to ask you this. Have you run across managers as a coach, as a mentor, as a motivator? They just like us, like, how the hell do you have this position? Don't name names. Don't name a state. Don't even name the country. Yes or no, or do you want to elaborate?
Well, I've been super blessed. I've been able to work with sales managers across the country. I've been able to work with sales managers in different countries.
Okay.
And you know, you always get somebody that I actually welcome it. I welcome someone that wants to challenge.
Perfect.
And you know why? Because that means that they're not just going to go with the flow. And so a challenge is always accepted. They may not like that I'm up for the challenge, and it may deter them. But at the end of the day, when I've experienced some challenges, I make friends probably 99% of the time, because I believe that when a challenge is thrown upon you, you don't back down. You never back down. But in the challenge, to find that common ground of solution and result. And that's what I've been focusing on.
Anthony Camacho, a man who you cannot rattle, the founder of the Top Producer Factory. Tell us about that, how that came about.
The way that came about is when I was in sales and consulting, I just wanted to be the best sales guy in my company. And so what I did was I invested conservatively about $80,000 in personal professional development. And one of my first training classes that I invested in was the Dale Carnegie training. And so I've been through all the curriculum. They have 4 major curriculum. The one major curriculum, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Yep. I went through all 4 of those, loved it so much, came back and was a Dale Carnegie coach. And I just loved to get that insight, because if you can understand human psychology, you can be an amazing salesman. And if you can continue to grow your skills, you're going to be the best salesman ever. So I firmly believe in evolution and becoming better. And once I've had gone through all these different sales training programs and psychology programs, I'm like, I need to share this with people. And so therefore I created my company, the Top Producer Factory, and just been taking it to different sales industries, changing people's lives, doubling people's incomes. And that is what is super rewarding for me, is not just getting the money and getting paid. I do like that, don't get me wrong. I will always charge, and I love to charge. But to know that you impacted a sales professional's life, that man or that woman gets to go home to their family and make a few more bucks to take a little bit more stress off their mind, off their plate, so they can have more quality of life for themselves and the family. That is super rewarding for me.
That's outstanding. Now, have you ever failed in as a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we fail we fail every day in some which way, shape, or form. You know, and I would say that I would love to have more success with people, but maybe I didn't. But you know, I'm not in control about how other people decide to incorporate the content. It's kind of like the person that wants to lose weight. They buy the gym membership, they get the gym clothes, they get the personal trainer, and then they never show up.
Right. They show up to McDonald's.
I can't help that. However, you know, again, you know, could I have figured something out to connect with some of them? Yeah, of course. And I'll definitely take that as a failure. I wish I could have figured out a way to connect. But again,
can anyone contact you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it accessible?
Yeah, absolutely. If people want to send me an email, they can email me at hitman@camachocoaching.com, all one word, hitman@camachocoaching.com. You can also message me through LinkedIn, Anthony Camacho. You can also message me through Facebook, Anthony Camacho. Instagram, Anthony_Camacho. Just look for Anthony Camacho, baby, and I'll be there.
Last question. Last question for you, brother. Hitman. Where'd that come from?
Hitman. That came from when I was with my first consulting company. I was called the Hitman because of my ability to do in-person cold calls. So I had the highest closing ratio of bringing new accounts to the company and the highest closing ratio of selling new product to market. And I don't make appointments. I walk in. I'm the face-to-face guy. I love face-to-face. So I walk into these decision makers, build rapport, follow up, and enjoy that follow-up process because you create a long-term relationship. That you're not just another guy that's going to come in, call them once or twice, and then disappear. When you show your prospects that you're in there for the long haul, that you actually care, that you want to connect and help grow their business and partner with them, completely different animal. So I was able to get that name, the Hitman, because hitmen don't make appointments. They just show up.
Anthony Camacho, author, founder of the Top Producer Factory, coach. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your motivation level. Hey, do yourself a favor, Anthony. Keep closing them out there, all right?
All right, thank you very much, brother. Jimmy, such an honor to be on the show. Love the car sharker, and looking forward to do some more ventures with you, brother.
Stay tuned.